What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Big Kaz. It's hot in North Carolina. Wherever you are, if it's hot, stay warm, stay hydrated, stay cool, stay hydrated, drink plenty of water. It's August. Here in North Carolina, July and August are the worst months for hot weather. That's when it gets really hot. Anyways, that's not the point. Here to say rest in peace to NBA coaching legend Don Nelson, who passed away at the age of 86. Per his family announcing it earlier today, he was surrounded by family and loved ones. Nelson spent 50 years in the NBA, spending 14 years as a player, starting out with the Chicago Zephyrs, who are now the Washington Wizards in 1962, then spending a couple years with the Los Angeles Lakers, and then finally spent 11 years with the Boston Celtics, where he helped them win 5 championships as a bench player. Still a really good player. In 1966, 1968, 69, 1974, and 1976. And his number 19 jersey is hung in the rafters at the TD Garden in Boston. Then the next 34 years, his greatest impact was being a head coach, one of the few great players who ended up being a great coach, select few. From 1976 to 1988, he coached the Milwaukee Bucks. In November of 1977, the Bucks were playing the Atlanta Hawks in the Omni in Atlanta, and they were down by, I want to say like 29, so many points. Then they ended up, I'm going to just say 30 to be precise. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure. I need to look that up. Then the Bucks ended up winning the game at the Omni. And his Milwaukee Bucks team had great defense, but they had a high-octane offense, and they often performed decently in the playoffs, but couldn't get past the likes of the Boston Celtics, led by Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, Jerry Shitstein, something like that. And the Philadelphia 76ers, led by Moses Malone, Dr. J, Maurice Cheeks, Andrew Toney, Bobby Jones. Also, his Milwaukee Bucks team beat Michael Jordan in his first ever playoff series back in 1985 in 4 games. That was when the playoffs were the best of 5 in the first round. He stayed with the Bucks until 1988. Then he spent 7 years with the Golden State Warriors, where he coached the likes of Chris Mullin, Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, Alton Lister, Sarunas Marciulionis, Billy Owens, and feud with Chris Webber. He also feuded with Mullin as well. His time at Golden State saw him have 2 first-round upsets in 1989 against the Utah Jazz, swept them in 3 games in the first round, then losing to Phoenix in 6 in the second, and in 1991, beating the Spurs in 4 games and then losing to the Lakers in 5 in the next round. 1992 saw him win Coach of the Year, just like he did in 1983 and 1985. He coached the All-Star game that year. In 1994, he was the head coach of the U.S. team in the FIBA World Championships in Toronto. Then after Golden State, he spent a year with the Knicks, which didn't work out, and only to return to the Dallas Mavericks, to return coaching, this time to the Mavericks for 8 years, where his first year they struggled. They won 20 out of 82 games, but did beat some good teams like the Seattle Supersonics, Utah Jazz, and most notably the Chicago Bulls on March 12th of that year on that game on WGN. I heard about it. I didn't watch it at the time due to the fact I didn't have cable. I just moved to Raleigh about 2 months later. Anyways, that's not the point. But it would be a matter of time they became a playoff team, when in 2001 he led them to the playoffs for the first time since 1990, where they beat the Utah Jazz in the first round in 5 games, and then lost to the San Antonio Spurs in 5. The following year, they improved, where he was the head coach of the Western Conference team in the All-Star game in Philly, Swept Minnesota in the first round in 3 games, the last year of the best of 5. And in the second round, had a great 7 or 6 game series against Sacramento Kings. 2003 team was the best one with Nash, Van Exel, Nowitzki, Michael Finley, Tariq Abdul-Wahad, Rafe LaFrance. Had a great regular season. Struggled initially against the Portland Trail Blazers, a.k.a. the Jail Blazers, where the Mavericks were leading 3-0. Then the Blazers clawed back, only for the Mavericks to take Game 7 and win the series, and had a tough 7-game series against Sacramento, and falling to the Spurs in 6. Made one more playoff appearance after that, and then resigned towards the end of the 2004-2005 season, replaced by Avery Johnson, who led them to the finals the following year, where they lost to the Miami Heat in 6 games. In 2006-2007, he coached the Golden State Warriors until 2010, where, thanks to the We Believe Warriors with Jason Richardson, Baron Davis, Matt Barnes, Stephen Jackson, and Al Harrington, where they upset the top seed Dallas Mavericks in 6 games, then losing to Utah in 5. The 2007-2008 team went 48-34 and missed the playoffs by 2 games, as the Denver Nuggets beat them out for the 8th and final playoff spot. The West was tough back then. Man, that was some good NBA basketball back then. Anyways, on his last season, which was Steph Curry's first year at Golden State, he passed Lenny Wilkins' 15-year reign as the most wins in NBA history, which lasted 12 years until then San Antonio Spurs head coach Greg Popovich passed it in 2022. His team always had a high-octane offense, fun to watch, and even as fun to play as in video games like the Warriors and Bulls versus Lakers and Bulls versus Blazers on Sega Genesis. And, well, Super Nintendo had the Blazers one too, but not the Lakers. NBA Live, like 95. Then NBA 2K and live games on PS2, original Xbox, GameCube. It was fun to watch. He was the architect of the point forward, where the small forward would facilitate the offense. And he was the innovator of Nelly ball, which is small ball, which is used today in the NBA these days. Don Nelson was a great coach, great man. He molded his players to become men. He'll be missed in the NBA community. And he was well respected. Rest in peace to Don Nelson. It's your boy Big Cos. I'll catch you next time.